Hey there, everyone. Nicholas Dettmann here for another edition of the Dettmann Media Podcast, where we discuss the latest in social media marketing tips, trends, and analysis, as well as digital marketing such as website analytics and website SEO. So, really glad you can join me for today's edition of the Dettmann Media Podcast. Just a quick reminder that if you don't already do so, head on over to my blog, and that is nicholasdettmann.blogspot.com. Head on over there, click on subscribe, and you can get email updates of the latest tips, news, and trends that come up in the social media and digital marketing world. And then lastly as well, today's podcast is sponsored by 5-Star Complete Asphalt Services. Based in West Haven, Connecticut, 5-Star Complete Asphalt Services is your industry leader in all things asphalt repair, as well as your industry leader in customer service. Free quotes available with the spring here. It's time to take a look at that driveway, pathway, or parking lot. Again, for quotes are free. Give them a call at 475-414-0125 and 475-414-0125, and let 5-Star Complete Asphalt Services be your guide into getting that new driveway, parking lot, or pathway. So with that in mind, we've got a couple things to touch on today. One of those, if you listened to the previous webcast or podcast, talked a lot about some of the changes that Google's been making. They've got another one here that certainly wanted to bring to your attention and kind of introduce you to it and kind of explain what it is. And then we've got also some trends reports from Twitter and TikTok. So with that, let's jump in and let's talk about what Google's working on. So rolling out slowly is a new Google Business Profile verification label. This label will highlight businesses that's been verified by Google as an actual business and how recently it was verified. So if you're looking through a search and if you're looking for a specific company, and you'll notice like you'll get like the results, the result pack, where it'll detail things such as websites, directions, contact information. On the result, it will show if the business has been verified by Google and how recently it was. So Claire Carlisle, a local SEO expert for Bright Local, sent a tweet out on March 3rd highlighting the change with the Google Business Profile. And in the article by Bright Local, it's called Fraudulent Businesses Profiles in the Spotlight as Google Updates Verification Requirements and Trust Signals. And according to that article, one of the reasons for the change is to show which businesses have been verified and what information is verified and how recently, like I mentioned before. And the purpose is to build the trust with the consumer that a website they may be about ready to click on is a legit website for a legit business. A business that isn't verified or not verified in a respectable time period may be a deterrent for online users. Quote, unfortunately, there's no check that. Quote, unfortunately, there we go. There is currently no way to request that Google contacts you to confirm your details, the article says. It appears that the only way to influence this label appearing on your GBP or your Google Business Profile is ensuring you answer the phone call if you do receive one, and of course, appropriately confirming your details during the call. However, whether the label is then assigned to you or not is still naturally at Google's discretion. And that's the quote there from that article. So the linked article that I do have within my blog goes over steps on how to get verified with Google Business Profile and your GBP page, and to get verified by Google. But really, in short, it's always just a good idea to make sure your information is up to date with your Google Business Profile or your GBP. As previously mentioned, the linked article really helps understand the procedure for the verification process. But I pulled a snippet that I thought is pretty important to understand. And quote from the article, if you're a legitimate business, then you've really got no reason to be concerned about the potential for double verification. Should this be asked of you, all you need to do is follow the instructions provided and submit the required information. And the article continues, a more stringent verification process could help to reduce fake listings in the local pack, local finder, and Google Maps, which is obviously great news for authentic businesses. And if you're a marketer working with local businesses, then you'll want to make your clients aware that additional verification may be required. So there's a possibility that Google may contact your client, so you want to make sure that they're aware of it, and that if it indeed does, that phone call does indeed come, you may want to make sure that they do answer it, or at least if they get a voicemail about it, you certainly want to return the message because it is actually a legit phone call. It's not a spam attempt. And just again, a reminder to marketers and to when you're communicating with your clients, you want to make sure that the contact details and other information is accurate on the Google Business Profile page as well as with the business themselves. Because accurate information can help prevent problems with this in the future. So definitely something you want to be in communication with your clients in regards to the verification of a business on Google, because if a business is going to be verified by Google and on the local search packs, that will definitely help in your terms of your SEO. Moving on to a couple trend reports. The first one was released by Twitter, and as like I mentioned, the in-depth report says it analyzed, quote, billions of tweets over a 2-year period to find about 3 must-know trends that they believe are about to go big. And I have a link to that report. It's called Twitter Trends 2022. That link is posted on my blog. So the 3 trends that Twitter pointed out or wanted to mention in this report is trends that you want to be aware of is they call it the 3 bullet points: the Great Restoration, Fan-Built World, and Finance Goes Social. So looking at the Great Restoration, it really is defined as healing the planet by healing ourselves. And so let's take a look at that one first. So it's hard to imagine. It's been 2 years since COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. Among the many things that have happened as a result of the pandemic, as we're well aware of, but certainly again bears reminding, is the focus on mental and overall health. And that has really become more important than what it used to be. We're a lot more aware of it, and we're taking more actions to try and make sure we're doing that and addressing those issues. So another part to this aspect is a greater emphasis on the overall planet's well-being, such as recycling. So what this kind of means for businesses is they need to be assertive and take action. So now let's look at number 2, which is the fan-built world, defined as digital communities are calling the shots. Again, another result from the pandemic is the massive reliance on digital. Therefore, consumers I would say they're taking a firmer control of the market, or at least the control of the market is swinging more towards the consumer. They're setting the communities that are engaged online, and businesses now have to adapt to that and work their way into those communities, such as the Facebook groups is always still popular, but definitely has grown over the last several months in response to the pandemic, and you kind of see what TikTok has done as well as far as creating communities as well. From the report, it says, quote, celebrate the people and communities who love you and find new ways to build them up and bring them close. So that kind of goes along the lines of finding influencers and influencers that support or follow or are fans of what you do and try to capitalize on that from a business marketing standpoint. And then the last bullet point was finance goes social, and that is defined as investing has entered the digital chat. So the report states tweets about finance was up 78% over year to year, and this trend is, quote, more than viral stock picks, though. The finance conversation has become part entertainment, part gaming, unapologetically social, and more open than ever before. So, for example, tweets talking about Bitcoin and the like are very much on the rise. So, again, I have the full Twitter Trends 2022 report available by clicking a link within my blog. And moving to the last part, again, another trend report, and this one comes from TikTok. And you've heard me talk about TikTok a number of times over the last several weeks, maybe even months, but it still bears repeating that TikTok, in my opinion, has really become the measuring stick in terms of how social media is distributed and how it's consumed and how you as a marketer can build off of that or adjust to it or capitalize on that. So with that, TikTok released a report detailing a lot of rising trends, which include insights and tips for marketers. And interesting thing about this report is there are several different versions available based on geography, such as North America, the Middle East, Turkey, Latin America, Europe, Russia, and Asia Pacific, the Asia Pacific regions. And you can get to those reports by clicking on the link that's on my blog, again, nicholasdettmann.blogspot.com. And you can scroll about 2/3 of the way down, and you'll see buttons to click on that region's specific report. So for my example here, I'm based here in North America in the United States. I'm just going to kind of look over the North American reports, and you can get that specific one on my blog as well. But again, if you want to look at the ones specific to your region, I have a link to that on my blog, and you just click on the region that most applies to you. So, but looking at the North American reports, TikTok put heavy emphasis to understanding the trends by evaluating hashtag performance. And quote from the report says, engagement stats show that users continue to see value in TikTok and its wide range of content. In this year, the top hashtag saw a median engagement rate of 12%, illustrating that through sound-on full-screen experiences, audiences are enjoying immersing themselves in a different world. As we continue to revolutionize the power of entertainment and community and grow as a platform, we are fully committed to placing the utmost importance on safety and the safety of users. One of the best performing trends or hashtags in 2021, according to the TikTok report, revolves around beauty and personal care. That hashtag saw a staggering 186% growth in 2021 compared to 2021. It kind of goes back to the Twitter report about how the popular trends there was personal and self-care in terms of mental health. So TikTok saw the same thing. The most popular hashtag was hashtag hairtalk, which, quote, skyrocketed to the top of the beauty counter with a 20,000% increase in video views and a 3,000% boost in videos created. Other popular beauty and personal care hashtags were hashtag self-care, transformation, black girl magic, ASMR, and oddly satisfying. And other growing or rising hashtags include GRM or GRWM, which means get ready with me, derm doctor, lashes, nail art, and moms of TikTok. If you're a business that serves those looking for beauty and personal care products, this is obviously very good news for you. Another popular trend in 2021 was the collaboration between users, and we've mentioned it just a moment ago that it isn't a surprise as we approach 2 years. Now we're kind of past 2 years since COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. Social distancing, mask mandates, and among other things left people disconnected from friends, family, and so on. So TikTok's collaborative tools such as Stitch, Duet, Replay with Video, and Use This Sound were all very highly popular and widely used. Collaborative growth, the report says, was 145% from 2020. And a few other insights from the TikTok's report look specifically at the audience. 73% of people feel a deeper connection to brands they interact with on TikTok compared to other platforms. 78% agree that the best brands on TikToks are ones that work together with users. And 70% feel like they're a bit part of a community on TikTok. And again, it kind of goes back to some of the other things we talked about with the Twitter report in terms of building communities. And this was the one I thought was one of the biggest stats from the report. And 67% of people said TikTok inspired them to shop even when they weren't looking to do so. And I thought that was very interesting. It kind of goes back to the beauty and personal care hashtags that I mentioned earlier about such as self-care, nail art, things like that could really boost a brand, especially if you're working toward trying to attract people that are beauty and personal care shoppers. So very interesting information there. So to build off that, the hashtag TikTok made me buy it drove plenty of success for brands in 2021, and I don't see that really changing a lot in 2022. So that's it. It wraps up today's podcast episode here for the Dettmann Media Podcast. Really appreciate everybody listening in. If feel like you're getting some good use out of the podcast here, certainly would love to hear from you. Leave a review wherever you can leave a review, or send me a message via Twitter, or at me at Twitter, which is Nick_Dettmann, Dettmann. Certainly would love to hear from you, and hopefully that you're getting some use out of the podcast. So until next time, everybody stay safe, take care, and have yourselves a very good day. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.